So a few questions that have been in the chat. One of them is regarding Sol. She says, how do you organize your QES best that you're not too late for using iSoQ? I have to copy everything from Excel. Having to copy everything from Excel or qualitative software.
Yeah, so I mean, the earlier you know you're going to use it, the better. So I would think that, it's part of your toolkit of all the different software that you're going to use in your QES. Know that, there should be a kind of I guess a trigger moment where, okay, I've got my included studies. Now's the time I can bring those into iSoQ. I would already plan to be doing that. Once you've got your included studies, bring them into iSoQ. And then, create your table directly in iSoQ. That's one option. And you can always export it out of iSoQ as an Excel spreadsheet as well. So I think that those who have used the sort of manual create table kind of feature in iSoQ, the feedback has been generally good. The issue is people get to that point and they've already created that table somewhere else. So I think, you're one step ahead in that if you know about iSoQ already, you can plan to use it from the earliest point, which is creating those methodological assessments and characteristics of studies table directly in iSoQ. Then in a way, I mean, that sort of happens in parallel or by various members of the team. You may then have a pause, right, with iSoQ, because you're going to sort of be going into some other program to work through your data and analyze it and synthesize it, and then come back to iSoQ when you have review findings. So I think about it in that way.
Thanks, Megan. Another question from Anne. Can you use GRADE-CERQual for qualitative umbrella review?
Sorry, Claire, I didn't hear you.
Can you use GRADE-CERQual for a qualitative umbrella review?
Okay. So we don't, so that came up in our evaluation as well. Currently, we don't recommend it because we don't have guidance for it. So we can't provide you with guidance on how to apply GRADE-CERQual to the review findings of an umbrella review. We've discussed it quite a bit in our team. We looked at some examples that exist out there, but we haven't found, someone hasn't sort of come up with the best way to do so, and there's a lot of complexity there. And we assume that, you would need specific guidance for how do you think about, for example, the relevance component in the context of an umbrella review. It's not a simple answer. So, there's nothing stopping people from experimenting, but what we recommend is that you be very transparent when you say, we used what you did. So, what we saw that was a problem was people saying we applied GRADE-CERQual in our umbrella review. And actually, that's not currently possible. So to be fairer to the method, you need to be clear that maybe you've drawn from the GRADE-CERQual approach, or you've used elements of the GRADE-CERQual approach, or you've modified it in some way. But please be explicit in stating so if you do attempt it. And we'd be very interested to see, how people approach that. And please, you can also, anyone's able to join the project group, the GRADE-CERQual project group, and that could be something that a small team could be looking at and taking forward. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Megan. One more question from Vanessa. We're running out of time, so I'll just pop this in. What about studies added later that may pop up? Can tables be easily edited? Is the process of table editing available ongoingly?
Yes, so to studies, that does happen, right? That you can add a study. Yeah, you definitely can add a study later and it will appear as a blank row in your table. So even if you've imported a table into iSoQ, that table, once it's in iSoQ, is editable. So, you can be working on it live in iSoQ. You can add another study. And like I said, you can export back out into a spreadsheet format as well. So yes, that is possible.
Okay, no more questions here, Megan, which is fine.
I saw something around Camelot.
Yes, there's been a discussion in the chat on Camelot.
Yeah, I think the Camelot team is better placed to convince you, but I think it's always hard to try something new. We get very used to the things we like to use. But I think you could test it out. I know it's available to start using and trying out in your next review. I think what's going to make it stand out is that its integration into iSoQ should make it quite attractive to do, because it's going to be setting up the information in a way that just sort of seamlessly flows into a GRADE-CERQual assessment of confidence, in which if you're using CASP, we don't have a support per se for CASP within iSoQ at the moment. Anything else?
Is Camelot the equivalent of Rob in RCT? Yes, the short answer.